What's going on, guys? It's your boy Scrub here, back again with another video. Hope you guys are having a great day. I know I am. And today, I've got a very cringy emo kid story time for y'all. I know you guys love these. It's been a little bit since we've done one, so I figured I'd come back with a banger. I've got a few of them, so without further ado, let's hop right into it. But press the like button or you're gonna end up having an emo kid, and you don't want that. Alright, so the first story that we're going to be talking about today was sent in to me by a dude who was just trying to chill in this Discord server for a particular game. And he was in this voice chat, and there was this kid that was just talking about how he's so emo, and he's just like the most emo kid anyone could have ever met. I love when people try to make it a competition. Oh, I'm the most emo person. Like, I don't know, man. I feel like someone who's truly emo and hates their life wouldn't be in a competition to be more emo than anyone else. They would just be like Eeyore from Winnie the Pooh. No, okay, I hate everything. Or whatever he sounded like. I think that's pretty accurate. Okay, Eeyore. And he's just complaining about literally everything. My life is so difficult. I have to do homework. I have to walk around my school. It's just so hard to be me. And obviously, everyone knows sometimes life gets hard. Sometimes there's gonna be things that suck. Life's gonna be difficult. It comes with the territory of being alive for an extended period of time. But when life gets hard, you got two options. You can either go complain about it to a bunch of strangers that don't actually care, or you can do something about it. And I'm not saying you shouldn't talk to your family members or your friends about it. That's different. But I don't understand why people feel the need to just go put it on a bunch of strangers. If life sucks, you gotta do something to make it suck less. You gotta make a change. You gotta hit it with the good old 360 no scope. And it's a weird thing to be bragging about. I don't know. If someone's life really sucks, I don't think they usually go around being like, my life sucks the most suck. My life sucks so bad that it would be on the top 10 most sucky things to ever suck. I feel like if your life sucks, you don't want people to know that your life sucks. I don't think anyone would truly be running around bragging about the fact that everything's awful and they're not happy. People who are unhappy don't want to be unhappy. I feel like actually unhappy people would love to be happy. It's just not going on for them right now. And on top of that, even after he was done complaining, if anyone else would say anything like, oh yeah, I'm having some issues because my teacher gave me a C and my parents aren't happy, he would always one-up literally anyone who would say anything, like an emo one-upper. Oh yeah, you got a C? Well, I got a D and my parents tried to break my computer, so that's worse than you getting a C and getting in trouble. Just one-upping everyone for everything. Someone would be like, oh yeah, my dad got in a car accident and he's okay, but the car got totaled, so that's been stressful. Well, my mom got in 2 accidents and totaled 2 cars, so think about how rough that is. And I think a normal one-upper is already annoying, someone that constantly just has to have more experience or a better thing than you. But it's really frustrating when it's about things that you're just trying to get off your chest. This person's just, my life sucks the most, it's literally the most difficult life you could ever imagine. I don't care that your family got kidnapped by a bunch of Oompa Loompas. 2 of my family members got kidnapped by a bunch of Oompa Loompas. And then, unprovoked, after all of this, he starts going on this rant about how his parents don't care about him and they just ignore him and he can't even remember the time that his mom cooked a hot meal, blah, blah, blah. The only reason I'm saying blah, blah, blah is what happens next, by the way. Usually someone venting about that I would feel bad for. But as he's going off about how his parents just hate him and don't take care of him and he just wishes people would care, you hear the door open and then in the sweetest generic mom voice you could imagine, straight out of a cartoon. Honey, dinner is ready. I made mac and cheese. I know that's your favorite. I love you. Come on down. Tell everyone on the game I say hi. And everyone in the server that was in that voice chat just starts cracking up. Because think about a more self-exposing situation. Here you are saying your parents don't care about you. You can't remember the last time they made you a meal. Your mom opens the door. Honey, I love you so much. I made your favorite food. Come on down. Kind of destroys your whole my life's super difficult story. So everyone starts cracking up. And the emo kid doesn't even try to defend himself and be like, no, my mom's putting on an act because she knows I'm on Discord. All he does is just disconnect. And everybody was laughing about it, but they assumed he would be back later to like explain what had happened. They were just gonna give him a hard time. But his response to this was to just leave the entire server. Probably was too ashamed to show his face. That's hilarious. You're trying to say that your mom and dad suck. Honey, come on down. We love you so much. Your father and I just want to hear about your day. Oh, bro, maximum cringe. I don't know why you would want to be like faking being emo in a random Discord server, but hey, some people out there just be weird, I guess. All right, we're gonna get into another story, the one you've been waiting for, the one the video's named after. But before we do, be sure to press the like button if you're enjoying the video so far, and let's go. All right, so the person that sent this in to me that I'm going to call Dennis for the rest of this story sits at the bus stop for quite a bit in the morning. It's like a little bit of a walk away from his house, so he goes a little bit early just to make sure he's there on time. And whenever he's there, he just kind of sits on his phone and plays a game or like watches YouTube while he's waiting for the bus. And for the most part, everyone just leaves him alone, because it's pretty logical, right? If someone's not bugging anyone and minding their business, everyone else just kind of lets them mind their business. There's no reason to get involved. But there was a self-proclaimed emo kid at the bus stop who was like, I hate my life and I'm going to make it everyone's problem. And he would just go up to random people and try to start problems with them, even if you're minding your own business, even if you're just trying to sit and wait for the bus like a normal human being. He just was not gonna let that happen. And on this particular day, Dennis was sitting there playing some Bloons Tower Defense 6 on his phone, waiting for the bus. And I can get down with some BTD 6. That's a pretty good game to play if you just need something mindless to do while you're waiting for something. And I didn't realize that a lot of people have hatred for the game, and he didn't either. But he finds out people have hatred for the game when he hears someone come up behind him and be like, ew, that's a stupid baby game for losers. And he looks back and he sees the emo kid. And Dennis is sitting there thinking to himself like, wow, that was a very awkward, uncomfortable thing to walk up and say to someone for no reason. So he just looks at the emo kid, like gives him a dirty look and just says, okay, and then looks back at his game. Which is probably the best response you could have to that. You're kind of letting them know they're annoying, but also not engaging and letting them know that it's bugging you. Not caring is the best response. Obviously, this kid had walked up to try to make a problem. There's no other reason for him to come up and say that. So just saying okay and going back to it bruises this dude's ego. He's over here thinking he's about to ruin everyone's morning. You don't even care enough to say more than one word back to him. And so when he looks back down at his game, the emo kid goes to like roll intimidation on Dennis like a Dungeons and Dragons campaign. And says, I should beat you up for playing that game. Which is such an insane thing to say. You're just gonna walk around looking at what games people are playing, and if you don't like the game, if it's not on your short list of approved video games, you're just gonna challenge them to a duel. This is the type of guy back in the 1800s who just went everywhere with a flintlock and was like, I challenge thee to a quarrel! For no reason. It's just so absurd to fight someone because they were playing a baby game. Not even a game that was like really offensive to you. That would still be stupid. How is a video game offensive? But on top of that, like, come on, man. You're gonna fight someone over Bloons Tower Defense? That's gotta be the least offensive game of all time. And I didn't realize it was considered a baby game. Like, the graphics are cartoony, but I don't know, do people really look at things that way? Oh, you can't play Lego Star Wars if you're over the age of 8, because it's a baby game. It's like, dude, I played Lego Star Wars when I was a kid, so I'm still gonna play it. Sorry, pal. But Dennis wasn't gonna back down. He was just gonna use this as an opportunity to just embarrass the guy. So he looks back at him and stands up and very loudly, so the entire bus stop can hear, goes, you really want to fight me for playing Bloons Tower Defense? And the entire bus stop looks, and it wasn't the first time that this guy had just made problems with someone for no reason, so he already wasn't exactly rolling in popularity. So when people heard that he was doing something ridiculous, they all started laughing because it was just another thing to add to the list. He had tried to fight people before because they were wearing the old AirPods, and therefore, for some reason, it was disrespectful to him because he had the new ones. Always trying to fight people for just the weirdest reasons. And so when he says that and everyone laughs, he looks really dumb. And he looks around and realizes everyone's laughing at him, not with him. And so he doubles down, as you do when you're embarrassed but not realizing that the best way to get out of the embarrassment is to just back down, and says, "Yeah, man, let's go." Takes off his backpack and drops into a fighting stance. And Dennis, instead of giving this kid what he wants and fighting him, just looks at him, laughs, and says, "I'm not gonna fight you over Bloons tower defense, bro." And the emo kid starts getting mad and yelling at him, but he's yelling and he's so mad that he's voice cracking the entire time. He's like, "You need to fight me." And Dennis is like, "Dude, I'm not gonna fight you over Bloons tower defense. There's a lot of reasons to fight, and this is not anywhere on the list." I think physically fighting someone over video games in general is just really dumb. Imagine someone beats you in Fortnite, so you go try to beat them. That's how stupid it is. And so he's just getting angrier and yelling, and at this point, other kids from the bus stop are walking up and separating them, and Dennis is just laughing. And I think because he was so not scared, the emo kid just kept getting angrier and angrier, and starts trying to push past the people that are holding him back. And at that point, the bus pulls up. And the bus driver already was not the biggest fan of this emo kid because he had caused a lot of problems on the bus. So when she pulls up, sees him trying to reach over and beat up Dennis while Dennis is just standing there laughing, not even flinching, just giggling. She gets the vibe of what's going on and asks the emo kid for an explanation. And he's not even smart enough to try to say something like, "Oh, we were just playing," or nothing, it was no big deal. He starts going off about how he wouldn't fight him, and because he wouldn't fight him, he wanted to attack him. And the bus driver even tries to give him a chance to change his story. They're like, "Are you sure that's what you want to say?" And he says yes. So whatever, they take the incident report, give it to the principal. It was not the first time he had done something like this at the bus stop, so because of this, he ended up getting kicked off the bus. And he didn't even get to fight someone. It's not even like he got intimidation points for it. Oh man, he really taught that guy a lesson. He now had to have his parents drive him to school every day and could not ride the bus, all because someone was laughing at him because he demanded to fight over something dumb. Imagine having to tell people "Oh yeah, I actually got kicked off the bus for a while because I wanted to beat somebody up over Bloons tower defense." Any video game would be stupid to get kicked off the bus for, but it's especially funny that he got so angry about the balloon game. That's so absurd. Oh man, you know how angry those balloons can get you. They're rubber, full of air or helium. I hate those things. It's why I got kicked off the bus, actually. From henceforth, every time he sees a balloon animal, he has an inhuman urge to run up to it and poke it with a needle. He just goes full Disney villain. I don't know. It's just funny that he didn't even get to fight the guy. All that freaking out, getting kicked off the bus to have somebody laugh in your face. And I'm gonna give kudos to Dennis. It probably is hard to control yourself when someone's being that ridiculous, but I think laughing at him really was the best course of action. He didn't get in any trouble, and he embarrassed him. That's kind of a double dub, and he didn't really have to do anything. It's not like he had to freak out back. He didn't have to get suspended from the bus. Giggling is probably the best thing to do in that situation. How diffusing. You're trying to fight someone. Imagine you're trying to get someone angry enough to fight you, and they just keep giggling in your face. Bruh, that has to be an ego check that no one is prepared for. All right, and I've got one more embarrassing emo kid story, but before we go into it, be sure to comment the word emo kid down below. Otherwise, you will be visited by the 4 horsemen of the emo kid apocalypse, and they're all really cringe, real cringe. Okay, so the person who sent this into me was at the skate park, and everyone was kind of minding their own business, but there was one emo kid who was wearing a shirt that was "It's cool to be emo," which is pretty cringe. But whatever, he was kind of hogging this small box near the entrance of the park. He just had it to himself. He didn't really want anyone else skating on it, so everyone just kind of let him be. That's not really how it's supposed to work at the skate park, but at the same time, if it's not crazy crowded, whatever. So everyone was just kind of skating other obstacles, and for an hour, he's just skating it over and over and over again. And finally, he goes over to where his backpack is, picks it up, goes back over, picks up his wax, which is what you use to get the surface better to grind on, throws that in his backpack and leaves. And obviously, even if you're not a skater, you would think, oh, he's not coming back. But if you skate, it's weird to grab your backpack, take all your stuff, and leave the skate park and think anyone's going to expect you to come back. Why would they assume that you're packing up everything and leaving if you're not gonna leave. It's just a weird thing to do. So somebody goes over there and starts skating it, and for about 20 minutes, there's no issue. He's skating it, other people are coming by, and then the emo kid comes back into the skate park with all of his stuff, and he sees that there's two people over by the box, and he goes over there all pissed off and says that, like, he's claimed this spot and they're not allowed to skate on it, and they should have known that he was gonna come back so they can move now. And the two kids that are skating on it kind of look at him and say, tough crap, we're skating it now. If you wanted it, you shouldn't have left. And even then, it's not yours. Like, you can't just skate this for 5 hours and not let anyone else skate it. That's ridiculous. And the emo kid is getting increasingly angry, being like, dude, you're stealing my spot. And it's just really not how it works. Especially if you pack up all your stuff and leave and come back 20 minutes later. Like, what, did you expect no one to touch it for 20 minutes while you went to Subway or wherever? And other people start coming over because it's starting to get more and more dramatic. And the emo kid starts telling everyone what happened, expecting everyone to look at these two kids and be like, oh, that's so messed up. Why would you do that? But as everyone's listening to this, they're all siding with the two kids, being like, yeah, I don't know. If you left, packed up all your stuff, you can't expect people not to skate it. And even if you come back, if you've been skating it for an hour straight by yourself, then at some point you gotta let other people use it too. It's not your skate park. If you want something like that, build it, put it in your driveway, whatever, but you can't come here and expect no one to use the stuff that all of our taxpayer dollars are paying for. So he decides that he's gonna get increasingly mad, but instead of fighting everyone, he just starts crying and says that he's gonna go home. And everyone at the skate park is like, okay. I think he thought if he started crying, everyone would all of a sudden be like, oh man, no, please stay, please keep hogging the spot. But everyone just kind of stared at him and said, all right, man, go home. Like, there's no reason to cry over it. It's just a skate spot. So he leaves, and everyone thinks that it's done after that. Everyone goes back to skating, is doing their thing. And about an hour after he left, a car pulls up and out hops this emo kid and his mom. And it's apparent to everyone that this kid had like gone home and gotten his mom and probably said that everyone at the skate park was bullying him. And he had brought his mom back, which is the cringiest thing to do, man. Everyone sides against you, so you go get your mom. What do you think she's going to do to everyone at the skate park? Like, they don't really know you, dude. They were just saying you were hogging the spot. If your mom pulls up and starts yelling at them, they're just gonna start messing with your mom because they have no reason to listen to what she's saying. Oh, I'm older than you. Yeah, okay, I don't know you. Like, I just don't have to listen to someone who's someone else's mom for no reason. Especially if that's how your kid's gonna act, I can assume that you're probably an annoying person too, so I'm just not gonna mess with it. And before they even get in, a lot of the skaters are laughing, being like, dude, he brought his mom back. This is going to be entertaining. And she comes back in and starts yelling at everybody that they need to move out of the way and let their kids skate there. And her son had every right to reserve this spot, and they should have known he was going to come back. And you would have at least thought that he had told his mom something that didn't happen. But the fact he explained it as it went down and his mom still was on his side is hilarious to me. She's the type of lady to like park in a handicap spot and then be confused when people tell her to move. I was only in there for a second. It's like, yeah, it's just not for you. You can't just park here because you want to and expect other people to like deal with it. And so all the skaters start kind of trolling her, obviously, because that's what happens. If an old lady goes to a skate park and starts screaming at everybody, just assume she's going to start getting trolled. And they're not going to be mean, they're not going to attack her or anything, but they're also not going to listen to you. Because you got to remember, even if you're that kid's mom, to everyone else at the skate park, you are just some random lady who came to the skate park and is yelling at everyone. They have no reason to listen to you. They don't know you. Like, it's a weird thing to go to a skate park and expect everyone to start listening to you because you're mad that they won't let your son hog everything. And so they're not listening to this lady, and she starts getting more and more angry that no one's listening. And then the emo kid, like, yells, which is the first time that he's really stood up for himself. He was screaming, but it was more of like an embarrassing scream. This is like an angry scream, if that makes sense. He had tried yelling, but its intimidation factor before was at 0. This was an attempt to make people scared. And he says, hey, that's my mom, listen to her. And a bunch of skaters yell back, we don't care, which has to hurt that guy's feelings. And he starts trying to argue with them, but I don't understand the logic. Hey, that's my mom. Okay, even if that's your mom, She's your mom. To everyone at the skate park, she's just a lady who's trying to yell at them, bro. They have no reason to have some warm fuzzies like you do about your mother. Oh man, that's my mom. Yeah, everyone is someone's mom. Like, everyone who's at the skate park has a mom. That doesn't mean that if their mom showed up, you have to just automatically listen to them. I don't know, it's weird. Imagine if the roles were reversed, Mr. Weird Emo Kid, and someone's dad came and was like, no one here is allowed to skateboard. Break your skateboard right now. And when you said no, they were like, hey, that's my dad. You have to do what he says. Obviously, no one's listening to this lady, and they get more and more offended as people are like, we don't care. We're not going to listen to you. And they're trying to say the usual routine of like, well, she's older than you. You have to respect her. Which I think if like some old man's just minding his business, doing his thing, not bugging you at all, and you go out of your way to disrespect him, that's dumb. That's what I think respect your elders is more about, is like, don't go out of your way to be mean to a grandma. Be considerate of people that are older than you. It doesn't mean that if someone older than you is in the wrong, you just have to roll with it. Like, oh, you're just older than me, therefore I automatically have to listen to everything you say. That's not what the saying means. People get mad confused all the time, but as they're getting more and more offended, they finally realize it's not gonna work and they quit. And they're like, we're gonna go to the car! Thinking, I don't know, somehow they were gonna miraculously feel bad that they were leaving, run over, apologize, ask them to stay. Please, please stay and yell at us some more, random lady that we don't know. So they're packing up their stuff, and the entire time they're packing it up, they're loudly complaining about how kids these days just have no respect for their elders. I think if you come yelling at people saying that they should just let your son not share anything in the public skate park and that they're dumb, it's not a matter of like kids not being respectful. It's not like this is a bunch of skateboarding hooligans that came up and spray painted your house for no reason. You, a stranger, ran up to them and made demands, and they said no. The same way you'd probably want your kid to act. Like, what? You really want to train kids that if an adult comes and says something, they just have to listen? No, thank you. I'd prefer kids make a decision and be like, this person's making a ridiculous request. Anyways, they leave and everyone was making fun of it, talking about it. And so a few days later, the subscriber goes back to the skate park. And it's very evident that Mr. Emo Kid and his mom had been back, and they had hung up all these signs that were like handwritten signs saying that effective immediately, all skateboarders had to listen to all adults. And I don't know if she understood that like just because you put up a sign doesn't mean it becomes law magically. It's not like a sign from the city or anything. It was literally like printer paper that they had written on. It doesn't just magically make it a law. You know the scene from The Office where Michael Scott walks out and he goes, I declare bankruptcy! And they're like, that's not how it works. You can't just say it. And he says, I didn't say it, I declared it. That's the logic she has here. No, I wrote down that from now on, everyone has to listen to adults, so it's just a law now. And everyone took pictures of it and memed it and then like tore it all down, obviously, because there was no reason to leave it up. And the signs didn't go back up after that. I don't know if she got the message or if she ever tried to enforce it. The subscriber was never there when she tried to enforce it. But I could just imagine the freak out she had when she realized they tore it all down. All my hard work I put into that signage and they disrespectfully destroyed it. Those skaters will rue the day they crossed me and my son and didn't let him hog the obstacle and assumed he left after he packed all his things and left. I mean, they even let him skate on it for like an hour by himself. It's not like anyone said, hey, get out of here, you suck. They just assumed he left after he packed up everything. I could understand why she'd be mad if they went over there and like threatened him and made him leave, but that's just not what happened. In the signs, that's just a dumb touch. Like, as an adult, you just kind of have to be more self-aware and know that that's gonna make everything way, way cringier. I declare that skaters have to listen to adults. Woo-wee. Oh, man, they got me. They got me. Anytime they say anything, you just have to listen. Is it a mind control device thing? Like just holding a skateboard? Everyone's just kind of brainwashed now. They just have to listen to everybody. I don't know. Overall, it was a pretty fun collection of emo kid stories for today. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, I'd appreciate you taking a second to press the like button and comment emo kid down below. Helps the video do quite a bit better. I'd appreciate it. And if you're new, you should subscribe, turn on those notifications so you never miss another video. I post videos like this every other day, so be sure to subscribe and turn on notifications if you enjoyed it. If you want to listen to the audio version of these stories, I do post them over on Spotify. A link to that can be found down in the description, so feel free to check that out. And yeah, on that note, I think that'll really do it. I got more videos on the channel if you want more, but see you guys next time. Don't get anyone pregnant. If you do, make sure they're hot. I'm out. Peace.